Hi, everybody, and welcome to this webinar specifically about the PRISMAP Call for radionuclides in medical research. In this short webinar, I will take you through the latest update on our Call for, as well as walk you through how to apply for deliveries of our isotopes. So let me start first by giving you the short update on our Call for radionuclides. PRISMAP provides innovative radionuclides, so those that you could not get otherwise through commercial suppliers, for medical research based on scientific excellence. And this is our primary selection criterion. As a European Commission funded infrastructure, it provides services based on translational access. It means the radionuclides should be provided mostly from a country that you're not in. Otherwise, we expect that you'd be able to obtain them through means at your national level. However, note that this does not exclude non-European countries from participating. PRISMAP has up to 20% availability to supply non-European users, so feel free to apply. Applicants have to prepare and submit a proposal that then will be reviewed by a user selection panel. For the preparation of your proposal, we have a guide for applicants that is available and that will provide you with all the information of what you need to write in that proposal. And then the submission itself goes through an online portal on the prismap.eu website, through which I will guide you soon. Successful applicants then enter into a user agreement that has to be signed between the last provider within the PRISMAP consortium and the users who will receive those isotopes. All information on how to access this can be found on our website through our Access platform. In terms of the timeline, please note here on the right, first the deadline, which is very important and will not be extended, of 29 September. Should you miss that deadline, then you will have to wait for our call number 5. There will be a pre-selection based on eligibility criteria to see whether your project is within the remit of PRISMAP, and that will be performed in the weeks that follow the submission deadline. Those who have successfully passed this eligibility criteria will be invited to a hearing that is already planned to be held on the 13th of November. The hearings are held online with our user selection panel. You can find information about the members of the panel on the prismap.eu website. And finally, in the second half of November, after completion of those hearings, the final results will be made public, and the projects awarded radionuclides will be then announced on our public webpage. All projects have to start within the next 12 months in order to be completed within the timeline of PRISMAP, which ends in April 2025. So what's new in Call for? First off, we are expanding our portfolio. Based on the feedback we received from many of you and the opportunities that arose within our infrastructures, we have now the pleasure to offer you 2 new isotopes, lead-203 and radium-224. Lead-203, with a half-life of slightly over 2 days, is a perfect isotope for SPECT imaging. And why do we need more isotope for SPECT imaging? Well, it actually can be the perfect theranostic partner for lead-212, which is a rising alpha emitter. Itself a member of the decay chain of radium-224, so that radium may be used actually as a generator for lead-212. So you can see how those 2 new members of our portfolio do belong well together. As a disclaimer, I must say that PRISMAP does not supply a fully ready generator that will provide you with lead-212. However, should you wish to develop such a generator by requiring access to radium-224, this is something that PRISMAP would be very happy to provide. The lead-203 will be produced by Aronnax, while the radium-224 will be produced by Medicis at CERN. Note a second update on call 4. We have slightly changed the format of the B part of the proposal, the B part being the open description of your project that you write yourself. And in that part, we have now changed from a 10-page limit on the full document to a 5-page limit on the first 3 sections of the document, which is the scientific narrative, while the parts that are a lot more technical, such as the bibliography or the funding information, is now limited in the sense that we do not want those technical information to take away the space from your narrative. So the narrative is where you should be focusing on and provided within this 5-page limit. All that information can be found back on our website. First, the portfolio for the novel isotopes and their properties, or then the guide for applicants on how to write the B part of your proposal. Another aspect on which we would like to put emphasis in call 4 is mentoring. Most successful PRISMAP user projects so far have actually been supported by members of the PRISMAP consortium during the preparatory phase. Either people we knew already from outside the consortium with whom we had been exchanging and thus had already our mentoring in the preparatory phase, or people who reached out to us via our help desk. And that way, it was a way for us to go in discussion with those potential users and guide them into making their project successful. Given the correlation between mentoring and success, we would very much encourage any interested users to reach out to us via our help desk. And any person reaching out by 15 September will be provided, guaranteed, with a mentor to help them answer maybe some basic questions. Are you eligible? Is your project feasible within PRISMAP? Which biomedical facility would be the most appropriate? How do you fit within the transnational access? What is really expected from the user selection panel? And any other idea that come to your mind, we will be very happy to answer them. Also, feel free to make use of frequently asked questions on the prismap.eu website, where some material is presented that reflects the interaction we've had previously via our help desk. So this concludes this very short presentation update on call 4, and make sure to reach out via our help desk and visit our prismap.eu webpage. So now that I've updated you on all this different news from the call, let me guide you through our webpage. When you arrive on the prismap.eu webpage, this is here what you will see. Note that at the top, there are 2 menus that will have all the information you need to prepare and submit your proposal. Under the medical radionuclides, you will see description of our production facilities, biomedical facilities, and our radionuclide portfolio. Let me first take you to our biomedical facilities. You can see here the 5 different facilities where research can be performed with support from PRISMAP. If you click on those, you will have an extended description of the facility, a sheet about the specification, and what support can be provided. Then let's have a quick look at our portfolio. You can see that we now have an extended portfolio with many radionuclides that can be of interest to you. Note in particular lead-203 and radium-223 that have recently been added to our portfolio. By clicking on any of those tiles, you are brought to an info sheet that provides you with any information that you might require on that radionuclide. If you have any question, of course, never hesitate to reach out to us via the help desk. Then, Upon applying, you have the application guidelines that are available from the Access platform menu. There you will find all the details on what is expected in the submission of a project, as well as a link to our guide from applicants, our frequently asked questions, and the PRISMAP help desk. Once you are ready with your ideas and you've prepared your narrative, you are ready to submit the project, either by clicking on the link here that says Submit Project Application, or from the Project Application tab in the Access platform menu. You will then be brought to this page that tells you exactly how to proceed. Let me guide you through the different steps. First, you need to upload your narrative, such as my amazing PRISMAP proposal. It has to be uploaded in PDF format for compatibility with the members of the user panel. After that, you will have to provide some technical and administrative details about your proposal so that it can be very quickly selected and verified by the members of the user panel. Let's start by having a look at the different radionuclides. Imagine you want to select the new lead-203 isotope. You may then decide which grade you would like to have it in, for research or already for preclinical applications. You have to provide them then the amount of material you wish to have. Imagine, for example, you require 10 megabecquerel. Just have to write 10 in this window. After that, you have to give us an idea of which application you would like to do with this isotope. And let's imagine that it is first for a detector development. It is neither an application in cell and tissues nor in animals. So let's say it is other application, such as technological development. In the next segment, you have to explain how many deliveries and how frequent you would like them to arrive. Imagine, for example, that you would like 2 deliveries separated by 1 month from each other. And this way, it gives us an idea of the feasibility, whether we will be able to deliver what you need. You can be very detailed, or you can be more global in your description, just so that it gives us an idea of the timescale that you are interested in. After that, there's a question on the quality you require in terms of being carrier added or non-carrier added. For imaging, for example, having stable isotopes in there would not be a problem. However, if you are doing pharmacokinetics test, then you need to have, of course, a non-carrier added sample. In this case, for imaging, for example, I would say no. And the desired partner for medical application, well, for example, if you do not have access to the equipment with the right conditions to perform that measurement and said, I'd like to use the SPECT machine from CHUV, then you can just say CHUV in that section. And that provides that way all the information you want. You may also decide that you want to do different activities and say that you want the other new isotope at the same time, then you can also add another radionuclide that way in the list. Note that for the example of radium-224, only research grade is available. I must here provide you with a warning. If you reload the page before having completed the process, you will have to start again. And that applies through all the pages. So be careful and make sure that you go through this process once you are ready. So now that we have to restart, let me put my amazing PRISMAP proposal again. And this time, I decide that I rather want to work with copper-64. And look, in this case, we are even able to provide GMP grade. Let me select, however, a preclinical amount of 100 megabecquerel for applications in animals, and then request 3 deliveries across 6 months, starting in January 2024, with a warning of 2 weeks for animal preparation. And this way, it gives a clear idea to our team on how to schedule your deliveries. This time, yes, it should be non-carrier added, and as a desired partner from biomedical application, I decide that this is not necessary because I can do that in my own institution. I can here put a title to my project, my amazing PRISMAP proposal, with some keywords. This one is a test during a webinar. The estimated project in months, that would be in my example 6, and then you can put also the preferred started date. There is no day like the 1st of January to start a project. Of course, make sure that you apply this according to the needs of your proposal. Note that the project has to start at least within the 12 months following the awarding of the project. You should add here then a publishable summary. Note that this publishable summary will be made available on our public website. As such, it should be accessible to a broad audience, be concise yet accurate, and should not provide information that you do not wish to see in the public domain. It is rather important to keep that in mind. Should your project be granted, this publishable summary will appear on our website here under Access Platform Funded Projects. This is also a page that you may consult to give you ideas about what projects have been approved in the past. We now come to the final page of the submission, which is about the administrative data. I am Dr. Thomas Elias Kokolius. I enter here my contact details. I am an associate professor from KU Leuven in the Department of Physics and Astronomy, located in an unpronounceable address of the city of Leuven in Belgium. Should you wish to work with multiple partners, this is absolutely a possibility. You then only have to click the plus button here to add an additional participant. It can either be a co-investigator from your own institution, if you believe that it is important that multiple persons are represented from here, or it could be that you add a partner from a different institution. Note that you will have to provide the same information about those participants. Make sure to have them at hand. There are then 3 more information you need to provide. You need to provide details about the person responsible for radioactive good matters and transportation at the institution. In my case, it would be Mr. Ludwig Hendricks. who is our radiation officer at the KU Leuven Department of Physics and Astronomy. But then there is also sometimes a separate person for radionuclide handling and reception authorization, maybe more on the authorization, so administrative side. In my case, this is Mrs. Anne Wollebrandts from the Health and Safety, Head of Health, Safety and Environment at the KU Leuven Health and Safety and Environment. And then finally, for ethical and regulatory issues, there is then the final person whose information has to be provided. In my case, it will be Professor Maria Reinhilde Casteels, with a global address for the Ethical Commission of EC at uzleuven.be. She is a professor at the KU Leuven in clinical pharmacology and pharmacotherapy. And once this is all complete, you may then go and review the data that you had prepared. Here you can see the radionuclide and the different information. Preclinical, 100 megabecquerel, for biomedical application in animals, with the description of our deliveries and the different properties that we requested. In the project description, the title, the keywords, the timeline, and your publishable summary. Finally, the administrative data that was provided in the last page. And if you are happy with all of that, you may now submit the proposal. Success! And then all that is left is to wait for the news and be prepared for the hearing on the 13th of November. I hope that this very short webinar was useful for you. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us through our help desk and visit our frequently asked question page. Thank you for your attention.